Stone Cold, The Undertaker, Mick Foley, Sable, Mr. McMahon, D-Generation X, The Rock. The grandiosity of WWE's Attitude Era means that its biggest stars ascended to the realm of cultural immortality. And because Attitude was so big, even middle-of-the-card wrestlers from that time maintained cult followings among the many fans. But not every fighter from those halcyon late 90s made such a lasting impression. In fact, quite a few Attitude Era figures left such a minuscule footprint that they're either not associated with WWE at all, or hardly even remembered by most ardent fans of the time. I'm Sam Driver from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 forgotten figures of WWE's Attitude Era. Join us!
But before we start, if you were to build the perfect wrestler from the ground up, you'd want a strong frame, a good look, a solid base of technical knowledge, and someone who's easy to work with. Oh, and they also need to be safe. Very, very safe. All the gimmicks and gear in the world aren't going to protect you from unexpected situations in the ring, not even these massive spiky shoulder thingies, so safety is very much paramount. I suppose it's a bit like using the internet, really. You can log on with all the best intentions in the world, but out there lurking in the corners are all sorts of dastardly heels that want to steal your passwords, data, and accounts. Do you really think you can square up to that on your own? Why not give yourself the tag partner you need to watch your back? Why not use NordVPN? NordVPN is lightning fast, highly secure, and easy to use, helping keep your passwords, banking data, and digital privacy safe, intact, and far away from those grubby hands trying to make a quick buck off your misfortunes. Not only that, but Nord also protects your location, allowing you to move your connection freely from country to country, which also handily gives you the ability to access streaming services, subscriptions, and content that might be exclusive to other regions. Content that might be broken up into several expensive subscription packages in your country might be available for one low price overseas. Did somebody say cheaper PLEs? Well, even Stephanie said to do it on her podcast. Why should you be the one left holding the bag? Cultaholic truly believes Nord to be the best VPN out there, and if you try it and don't agree, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. To get the best price on your NordVPN plan, head to nordvpn.com/cultaholic. Not only will you get a hefty discount, but you also get 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. The link's in the description below. Thanks for all your time, and a massive thanks to Nord for sponsoring today's video.
Number 10, Mr. Hughes. Certainly, fans of the time remember Curtis Hughes. In 1993, Hughes had a brief run as a monster heel in the WWF, feuding with The Undertaker and participating in the '93 King of the Ring. He was also prominent at times in WCW and ECW, so he's hardly obscure by any means. But what's forgotten by even fans of the Attitude days is that Hughes briefly resurfaced as the heater for a recently debuted star. After dropping a good amount of weight, the still imposing Hughes turned up in September 1999 as bodyguard of the WWF's Millennium Man, Chris Jericho. Sporting flashy shirts given to him by Y2J, Hughes aided Jericho in his assaults on wrestlers like Ken Shamrock, X-Pac, and Road Dogg, but he wouldn't be long for the role. Jericho later noted his annoyance with Hughes' general attitude, and the two were separated on camera by October's No Mercy pay-per-view. Hughes made his last appearance with the company shortly after losing a backstage poker game to the APA. Number 9, Tennessee Lee. Here's another individual that proved memorable outside the WWF. Territory-era star Robert Fuller spent 4 years in WCW during the 90s as Colonel Robert Parker, a shrewd and shady southern businessman that promoted his stud stable clients with brash I say gusto. Parker was an entertaining character, and Fuller played the role quite well. So it's no surprise that after he left WCW, the rival promotion came calling. When Jeff Jarrett revived his former country singer persona in 1998, he assumed as manager the former Parker, now going by Tennessee Lee. In that familiar deep drawl, Lee heralded Jarrett's arrival with full-throated huckster spiel like any shameless promoter would. Unfortunately, Lee didn't make too much of a difference for Jarrett, whose crooner character wasn't particularly popular even during its first run earlier in the 90s. After a random spat between Jarrett and Lee later that summer, Lee was written out when the henchman Southern Justice, the former Godwins, brutalized the manager. Number 8. Muffy. With a simplistic name like that, you're probably not expecting misunderstood genius here. But as it turns out, WWE may have squandered a potential prodigy. In 1999, a stuntwoman named Karen Moa tried out at the wrestling school of California-based Rick Bassman, trainer of Sting, John Cena, and others. Moa was apparently a fast learner, fast enough to earn a WWE developmental deal barely 6 months after she first started taking back bumps. In the spring of 2000, Moa made her WWE debut as Muffy, a personal trainer whose most notable client happened to be Stephanie McMahon. Speaking in shrill tones, Moa dressed down WWE audiences for being fat and out of shape, cribbing mightily from the Body Donnas playbook. After a scant few appearances, the Muffy character was quietly dropped and never mentioned again for disputed reasons. Moa was sent back to developmental and then released later in 2000 after the WWF was unable to come up with another gimmick for her. The Muffy character might have been fit, but just not for the show. Number 7. Wink Collins. Even some hardcores watching this video might be saying, wait, Wink who? But if you watched the WWF anywhere between 1996 and 1998, you probably saw Mr. Collins at least once. Predating Attitude, Collins played Mr. TV Trivia during the Billionaire Ted skits and presented at that year's Slammy Awards. The following year, he appeared in Clue adverts for SummerSlam 97's $1 million giveaway. And after that, using the Wink Collins name, he made several appearances promoting upcoming WWF events. And why was he doing that? Well, it's because Collins was a promoter. Beginning in 1988, the real-life Bob Collins had worked in WWE's live event department for a tenure that would span the next 20 years. Previously a promoter for Ringling Brothers and the Ice Capades, Collins worked feverishly to help sell out major events like WrestleMania. That was his primary job, only sometimes taking to WWE television for some cheeky bit. There was a belief among diehards for some time that Wink Collins was portrayed by longtime WWE director Kerwin Silfies when it was actually a different tenured staffer, one legitimately named Collins. Number 6. The Public Enemy. Flyboy Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge were a staple of 90s tag team wrestling. Spawned in ECW, the Public Enemy held the tag belt several times between 1993 and 1995. They were popular enough for WCW to poach in 1996, and along a 3-year tenure, briefly reigned as champions in Atlanta. But on the downswing of their renown, Rock and Grunge brought their hijinks to WWE for a very short stay. They'd actually returned to ECW at the dawn of 1999, but burned bridges backstage by refusing to play ball. Rock and Grunge then moved to WWE, where they apparently didn't endear themselves well to the locker room either. A flippant disagreement over planned spots in a weekend match with the Acolytes resulted in Bradshaw and Farouk legitimately shooting on the Public Enemy in a truly disquieting scene. It's no surprise that Flyboy and Johnny's days were numbered after that, lasting only 1 more month with the company. In their last notable appearance, the two were unceremoniously and quickly dumped out from the pre-WrestleMania 15 Battle Royal. Number 5. Mariana. The real-life Mariana Komlos worked all of 5 months for WWE, but her tenure reads like a course in Attitude-era creative bankruptcy, none of which was her fault. A bodybuilder and fitness model by trade, Mariana debuted in the spring of 1999 as Mrs. Cleavage, the mother of Beaver Cleavage, which was Headbanger Mosh doing a naughty send-up of a 1950s TV character. I know, hilarious, I'm laughing too. Following a worked shoot to kill off the, cleavages, Mosh re-debuted under the mononym Chaz, with Mariana, using that name, playing his girlfriend. There wasn't much momentum behind the double act, and Chaz and Mariana were relegated to B-show spots before long. Regrettably, the two were booked in a domestic abuse angle, where Mariana claimed Chaz was hitting her. With the aid of hidden camera GTV, Chaz's former partner Thrasher revealed that Mariana was applying fake bruises before making the false accusations. After the reveal, the Headbangers reformed, and Mariana finished up her short but disturbingly eventful WWE tenure. Number 4. Brackus. We all know that Vince McMahon loves his body guys, and in 1996 he found an impressive specimen from the world of, where else? Bodybuilding. German powerhouse Achim Albrecht was signed without any wrestling experience and put under the tutelage of Bret Hart and Dr. Tom Pritchard. After months of working dark matches, vignettes aired promoting the debut of Albrecht as Brackus, who very simply promised the destruction of various WWE principles. Despite airing the vignettes, WWE decided Brackus needed a little bit more seasoning and sent him down to ECW for a time, postponing his Federation debut. When Brackus turned back up, his moment turned out to be fleeting. After a forgotten match with Jarrett at the April 1998 Mayhem in Manchester card, we next saw Brackus getting knocked around with ease by Savio Vega in that year's Brawl for All tournament. Even before then, WWE were likely all but cold on Brackus, who won a blink-and-you-missed-it squash over Vega ally Jesus Castillo and then quietly left the company. Number 3. BB Bush. In the autumn of 1999, WWE started putting an unusual amount of emphasis on an unnamed crew member. A conspicuous blonde-haired EMT made several appearances to render aid for various wrestlers, including Stone Cold after he was hit by a car at Survivor Series. The following week, said EMT was thrust into the spotlight after Ivory, after losing a charming gravy bowl match, ripped off the EMT's shirt in a fit of anger. We soon learned that the EMT was named BB Bush. Originally, she was Barbara Bush, the name of an elderly former US First Lady, which was a choice. But whatever the exact moniker, Bush suddenly became a regular presence, occasionally wrestling while opponents and commentators made puns, only a few of them subtle, regarding BB's name and physique. There wasn't a whole lot of depth or purpose to the BB character, who was written out after a couple of months following a table attack by the Dudley Boys. Bush then went on to have a brief run in early TNA under the name Taylor Vaughn. Number 2. Key. Around the turn of 1998, WWE became aware of two wrestlers that were having insanely wild matches with each other on the California indie circuit. Undersized scrapper Erin O'Grady and rotund mauler Vic Grimes. Following a successful dark match together, O'Grady and Grimes received developmental deals with WWE. A year and a half later, both men were called up. O'Grady enjoyed a several-year run as the versatile Crash Holly, and as for Grimes, well, the 350-pound impressively agile Grimes arrived on WWE TV as Key, an associate of heels Darren Drozdov and Prince Albert. As Key, Grimes dressed in all white and sported an unorthodox bleach blonde ponytail. The Key character was supposed to be a drug dealer, another unseemly cog in Droz and Albert's machine of decadent living. Grimes, however, wasn't long for the main show. He'd apparently injured the Godfather during one of his first appearances and drew ire for his reportedly sloppy work. In mere weeks, the former Key found himself in ECW, locked out of the big time. And number 1, Just Joe. One of the more unusual characters in WWE history was a man who shared backstage segments with stars as significant as Triple H and Kurt Angle and inserted himself into multiple storylines. Yet, he also has 0 memorable matches and was off TV in a matter of months. Canadian indie standout Joey Legend followed allies Edge and Christian into WWE, where he took on the name Joe. Just Joe. Just Joe was a backstage instigator, randomly appearing in street clothes to spread gossip among the boys. He'd tell the game about some trash talk he overheard Angle uttering about him, or he'd tell wrestlers ranging from D'Lo Brown, Al Snow, Test, and Perry Saturn something that somebody else said about them behind their back, and it would honestly lead to matches. Sometimes Joe would have to answer for his shameless rumor-mongering, but not often enough to make him anything more than a truly random plot device. Though prolific for a time, Just Joe quickly became just another here today, gone tomorrow character in WWE's Attitude Era.